Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wanted to communicate with the other side, then do we have the Bridging Two Realms show for you. Today I'll be talking with John Holland, an internationally recognized psychic medium, spiritual teacher, radio host, best-selling author, and the author of a brilliant new book on tapping into your psychic abilities, Bridging Two Realms. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about learning to communicate with your loved ones and hear messages from the other side. That, plus we'll talk about the cliffs of Trevone and Cornwall, psychic arc and coral polky, training with Ivy Northage, flower clairsentience, a Tibetan monk spirit guide, Snoopy and hockey, what on earth is a zipper head, and what in the world coda and a tooth cleaning has to do with anything. So welcome. Gotcha. Welcome back to the show, John. Are you ready to shine?
Yes, sir. Wow. Okay, I'm ready for this one. Go for it.
Woohoo! And was that coda I heard by your side just a moment ago?
Yeah, every time. I think he prefers when I work in my office because he knows he can nap while I ground myself. So he's just sitting right over there in his little basket. So yeah.
Very, very nice. So since we have kind of an abridged version today, can you give us real briefly John Holland 101?
Oh, John Holland 101. Well, I am a medium over 20 years now. I've been doing this work since my early 30s, and it's been a whirlwind. I was like this as a kid, Michael, and a lot of people are born intuitive, but mine was quite heightened. And I was always the different one in the family, one that my mother and father really didn't understand. I'm one of 5 kids, Irish, Italian, Catholic from Boston, and I was always the different one in the family. I was quite good at art. I was fascinated by magic, religion, the saints, spirits, ghosts. So as a kid, that was my world. So I was a little different than my other 5 brothers and sisters. And then always intuitive. I knew when people were going to suddenly come over to the house unexpected. I saw spirit people in my bedroom as a kid thinking I was dreaming. I would finish people's sentences. So that's why my book is called Born Knowing. I was born this way. An automobile accident awoke the abilities that I pushed away because I was called weirdo, freak, something's wrong with you. So, like in society, I hid the abilities, and this accident awoke the abilities to the point where I couldn't shut them off, and I wanted to know, why is this happening to me? So I didn't just start doing the work. I learned the mechanics. I got a real education on how the psychic faculties and mediumistic faculties work with you.
Well, that's actually fascinating. I think about you often, and I think of superhero training, and of you going across the pond, so to speak, to do
absolutely.
your superhero training.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's weird. It's not weird. I believe that when you follow your soul, what you're supposed to do, I think synchronicity plays a big part. When you're following what you're supposed to be doing, I think doors open, Michael. And when I started doing psychic work, I never quit my day job for many, many years. I started reading cards at an aromatherapy shop in California. 2 years into doing tarot readings, psychic work, people on the other side started showing up. And I said, okay, why is this happening now? Why is it that I'm reading someone and in comes their mother, their father, their child? So I must have reached another level with my work. And I think this is what happened after doing this work for 2 years psychically, because there's a difference, Michael, for your audience. We're not all the same. You've heard this before, I'm sure. Every medium is psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. And what do I mean by that? Just to say this really quickly. When I look at you, Michael, on a psychic level, psychics are looking at your aura, your past, your present, your future. Everything is right there in your space. Mediums are different. We're not getting the information from, there's a lot in that your space, let me tell you. Okay, there's a lot, there's a difference. A medium is not getting the information from you. They're getting it directly from the people on the other side. So a psychic perceives, a medium receives. So, that's what happened. So I was doing psychic work, reading the cards. People on the other side started showing up, and I started reading books on spiritualism, which is just a simple belief of the continuity of the soul, and they believe in communication with the other side. So I started reading these books when I was living in LA. Everyone was from England. Even though spiritualism started here, it really took off in the UK. And I was reading these books, and I said, wow, if I could ever study. I was reading classics, reading some, Ivy Northage, Eileen Garrett, Arthur Ford, a lot of British mediums. And I was reading these books. 2 weeks into reading these books, just 2 weeks, I said, I would love to go to England and study with these people, because I never even knew what a spiritualist was. And Sure enough, I'm at a party 2 weeks into reading these books. I step on a person's foot. They were from England. I got invited over there. My job ended. I had the time. Somebody rented my apartment. I got taken in over there. It just was one beautiful synchronistic event after the other. I was quite blessed, and I studied over there for over 2 years. Some serious training also, because if you're going to do this work, Michael, and I talk about that in my new book, Bridging Two Realms, you got to do it right, because your people's lives are in your hand. You're using your whole vessel, your physical body. I'm a big teacher of the mechanics of how this works. Yeah.
So I want to dive into all of this, but,
Sure.
I'm going to do a bunch of, I didn't mean to, but why not? A bunch of me search here, because
Right.
I'm on with you, and I connect you with you spiritually for an interview,
Right.
and I
Sure.
coach and I connect. How do you, I have my own methods of doing it. How do you, I don't even know if the word is protect. I'm not sure we need to protect, but how do you
Right.
maintain your energy field so that you're not drawn down too much?
Um, my dog does that for me, actually.
Woohoo!
Yeah, my dog does that for me. I live in nature. I'm on where I live here. If you look out my windows, all you see is 2 acres of woods in the back and all around me. So to bring me back down, you mean when I'm doing when I'm working spiritually, Michael?
Well, both. That's very important for people, because I'm
Right.
continuously trying to throw people out to
Right.
nature to get them connected,
Yes.
to get them grounded. But then
Absolutely.
in the moment, because as you talk about later in the book, sensitivity means sensitivity.
Sensitivity, yes. Yeah. What I mean by that, the price of sensitivity is sensitivity. And I teach people in the book, there's three kinds of psychics, Michael. There's someone who is open to the environment and people around them, and they could get emotional. They don't know why they don't like crowds. They don't know. They're at the mercy of the energy that's around them, but they don't know that their bodies are being affected on a psychic level. The second kind of psychic is someone that knows a little bit about psychic experiences, but is not really practicing or doing it. The third is the master, someone that knows how to open their energy centers, close them. They know the mechanics of how it works. They are the master of their ability. It is not the ability. They are the masters of their ability. The ability is not the master of them. Because I have many students say, "I'm so sensitive. I see the spirit people all the time." Then you're not trained. Okay, you have to train this. And what I do is every reading that I do, I just close down. And it's not even a conscious effort for me anymore, Michael. It just happens. Because a lot of people say, are you on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? I burn out. No, the people on the other side, they don't bother me, or I shouldn't say bother. They don't contact me unless I'm ready for it. So I have a deal with them. It takes a very, very strong spirit to get my attention when I'm not working. Because a lot of people think I can walk into a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, I see all their people behind them like it's shown on television. Not true. Not true.
What about your spirit guides, or somebody that you have by your side 24/7?
I imagine that they are too. I don't get too much into guides. I mean, I believe in them. I've got a Tibetan monk hanging on my wall. Tibet has always been, I'm a kid from the ghetto. What does Tibet have anything to do with me? I was fascinated by Asian stuff. My mother was too. I would dream of Asian men with bald heads and orange and red robes. And I'm like, remember, I'm from the streets. I mean, I didn't know anything about Tibet, but I've always been drawn there. And then when I went to England, they started drawing this guide for me. And I always say, you should try to get your guide for yourself as opposed to somebody telling you. But the way it happened, one person in England after other kept seeing this Tibetan guide, and he's my teacher. I don't have to have a name for him. I didn't do any research to try to find him. I just call him T for teacher. You know what I mean? Tibetan teacher. And they're not here to run your life. They're here to help you, guide you. And I know he's one of my teaching monks, so I know he's my main guide. I'm sure we have some that come and go, but we all should have one main guide that stays with us, and probably from past lives, from many, many, many lifetimes.
So I teach people a technique called automatic writing for dropping in,
Yes.
being able to connect and get
Absolutely.
that information.
Yes.
Are you able then to do that on a kind of a moment-to-moment basis? If you say, hey, T, I need some guidance here. Because you talk about at one point going on stage, they've got brilliant lights in your face, and you're going, all right, guys, what do I do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't really call on him, but I feel him sometimes. And I know when I'm writing a book like this one, Hay House asked me, do you have another book in you? And Michael, I really didn't think I had another one in me. I really, really didn't. But I always go by what's in society, what's around me, what's needed. That's why I wrote it. We can talk about that in a second. But I know I never went to college. and I get these words of inspiration, not when I need them or want them, but when I'm not paying attention, when I'm watching TV or reading, in will come these beautiful words of wisdom. And I'm like, wow, thank you. Is it me? Maybe. Or is it them? I think it's them, because the words are so beautiful, so poetic. And it's that, trust me, that's not who I am. So, yeah.
But it's also a blend. I find that, for instance, if you listen to Paul Selig, the words that come out of Paul Selig are in this Shakespearean totally prose. It always comes through with the vessel. So part of that is clearly in you after all of these years. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I give myself some credit. Same thing with Edgar Cayce. When he used to do his readings, it was like, we see you here, and the English was so different. So we know that wasn't him either. So, but I love the Edgar Cayce Foundation.
So, and myself as well. We had Mitch Horowitz on recently talking about it, in fact, and the whole organization in Virginia Beach.
Right.
So why is this book needed today? What were you seeing as the need, and what's going on with the world?
Well, a lot of people were asking me, people used to be happy with just getting a reading from a psychic or a medium. They take the information, go home, and hopefully they were comforted. Or I would be doing a big demonstration, same thing. They would be happy with the message. But people are asking more profound questions now. What is my loved one doing? Am I able to connect with them? How come I feel like I can feel people on the other side now? Does this mean I'm a medium? Why am I so psychically sensitive? So that's why I wrote it, is to answer all these questions. But I basically wrote it for people that have lost people who maybe be bereaved, or people who want to know, can they still have connections with their loved ones on the other side? And that's the first part of the book, Bridging Two Realms. Learn to communicate with your loved ones on the other side. The first part it's about grief, how they're connected to you, how we don't notice them. I talk about the after-death communication, the signs that they send you. I talk about the planes of existence on the other side, near-death experiences, shared death experience. That's all in the beginning, to let the people know here that the spirit world is real and that their loved one is not gone. The second part of the book is dedicated to the people that want to train or who want to understand what is happening to them on a psychic level. I mean, psychic sensitivity, because a lot of people, Michael, I'm sure you noticed this too, a lot of people are suddenly, more so now, more psychic, more sensitive. So is the consciousness of man changing? Is the spirit world getting closer? I think I think we're changing. I think we're evolving. There's a lot of stuff in the world that's going on, Michael, as you know, and we're extra sensitive to it now. I mean, there's so much out there. It's not like we're living on an island with no social media. It's everywhere, and it can affect you. So the second part of the book is to understand how your psychic faculty works, if you're curious, or if you want to go on to be a medium. That's where this book is important also, because I do a lot of the training. I talk about the training, and more importantly, Michael, really important, the ethics of doing this work, because you have to have ethics with this. People's lives are in your hands. You got to get the proper training if you want to do this for people.
So let's do this. Let's dive real briefly into communicating with our loved ones. Then I want to dive into mediumship. We're going to end probably on ethics, see if there's time for a brief meditation. Lots to cover. We'll breathe deep. First off, when our loved ones pass away, they haven't left, have they?
No. Usually, from what I hear, now remember, I got a lot of the information, a lot of Raymond Moody's work everybody knows he is the father of near-death experiences. A lot of people who have passed away, who've been resuscitated and come back, are now coming forward more and more, telling their stories. They don't have to be afraid. You see the bestsellers, Eben Alexander, Anita Morjani, the kid with there's reincarnation involved in there also. There's another doctor who had a brain aneurysm. She's coming back. I mean, when doctors are coming forward, so it's very, very, very important. I think you had Eben on probably also.
Absolutely. Several times on. And PMH Atwater as well, and Anita Morjani. And I've had 2 NDEs myself. So I'm well down this rabbit hole. And beautiful is not strong enough a word for when you get so many people sharing the same story left, right, and center, you go, what's going on here?
Yep. Absolutely. And that's where I refer a lot to that, the near-death experiences here, to show people who are here, look, people have died. This is what they're experiencing. I wanted people to know that when they lose a loved one, or when it's our time to go, there's no need to be afraid. We see the person before they pass away. And I try to explain in the book what happens to the body, what happens to the spirit. So somebody passes away and they're still there with you. I really believe that. But we're so bereaved. we can't feel them. And many times for your listeners, and maybe even you, Michael, you lose someone. And a lot of people say, I don't know if it's me or if I'm crazy, but I feel like they're still here, because they are. They are. You know what I mean? And if they're not stuck, they are not stuck. They're here. They're drawn to you, the love. And, just like they say, Jesus, it took 3 days, before he came back, so like Easter, I think that the big word they say that we're around when we pass away still for 3 days. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I know when someone passes away that your loved ones, they try to let you know, look, I'm still here. I'm still here. Same thing happened to Anita Morjani. That's why I love this woman. I'll be working with her at the Edgar Casey Fund. I love this woman. She's a colleague. She's a friend. She's beautiful. She said when she was on the other side, and remember, she came back, she had stage 4 cancer, tumors the size of tennis balls that just were gone. Her father on the other side said, you go back, you have another mission. She went in total remission. She said, but when she was on the other side, which is fascinating, that's why I love working with this woman, she said she could see her relatives around her body, and she didn't know how to communicate with them to let them know that she was okay. So people on the other side, they have to learn too, though, Michael, how to do this and work with the medium. Yeah, so it's not just that they automatically become excellent at, other side broadcasting. They have to learn also. And so it's a 3-way communication. It's me, it's them, and it's the person here.
So you have to raise your vibration up to try
Absolutely.
to meet with them and learn how to do this. They have to learn how to lower their vibration down. They're not all of a sudden all-knowing and have the manual in front of them. They have to lower down, and then you have to create that bridge, and that may take some time and work.
Absolutely. Because it's almost like, I heard John Edwards say this once too, who I love this guy and his work. He said, it's almost like diving into a pool of water. You're down there, you're holding your breath, you have to come up. Same thing with the spirit world, because that's why when people say they're with me 24 hours, 7 days a week, I find that it's kind of hard to do that for them. They're vibrating at such a higher frequency. They have to lower theirs to meet ours. And we're in a dense molecular structure here. The physical plane, then there's the astral, the etheric, the astral, the mental, the celestial. So there are levels to the spirit world, which I talk about in the book. But I raise my energy and they lower theirs. And how do I raise my energy? Easy. For me, meditation. I'm just there, Michael, when I do mediumship. I don't have to chant or om or flash incense. It's just there. You know what I mean? And you have to understand when you do this work what I'm talking about. But I raise my energy and they lower theirs. That's why when someone sees me work on stage with this or in person, the person steps back and I'm losing the link, and the information that's flowing is less and less and less. When they're closer, okay, and I don't call them. They come to me. It's a bridge. It's the power of love. The person's in front of me. They come to me. The evidence is strong. And then after a while, you can feel it on a mediumship level that they're pulling back because they can't stay forever. But they can be here when the people need them.
Woo-hoo.
Your loved ones. Yes.
And we have the ability, not always, it's not perfect, but we can send out the signals to start calling them in.
Absolutely. Your loved ones are just a thought away. And I say this all the time. You're a soul that comes with the body, not a body that comes with the soul. You're a soul first. You were soul before you incarnated into this world. You're going to be a soul long after you leave this overcoat here too, though. So you are made up of the same, there's spirit incarnate, spirits in the body or around the body, spirit discarnate on the other side. We have the same abilities as those on the other side, but your spirit is here. So you can have that communication with them. Your loved ones are just a thought away. And they hear our words, they hear our prayers. But there's all these kinds of signs around us, but we don't notice them, though, Michael. And people expect, it's like the movies or when they read fiction, they think that, that there's this, it's almost like a Star Wars kind of effects, and the loved ones come through that way. They're very, very subtle. They're not going to try to scare you, Michael, and show up in front of you. There's all these little signs that they let you know, I'm here. Yeah, so you call on them, and it's a technique I use in the book, too. Can I just give you that really quickly?
Would love it.
Yeah. There's so much noise on the outside world because of technology, and as much as I love technology, because we wouldn't be able to do this, look at you look at me, and the people look at us. It's wonderful, but I think technology pulls us away from our inside, from our own self. Okay, and we're spending too much time on the outside. All you got to do is get quiet. A lot of people hear meditation, meditation, meditation. People get scared by that word too. It doesn't mean Om Mani Padme Hum. It just means get quiet. If you lost someone, get a picture of them, the happiest picture you have of them, because that's how they really are now. Look in the person's eyes, the happiest picture. Put it in front of you. Light a small candle safely, a votive, from the dollar store, and just get quiet. Invite them in. That's what I have in the book. It's called Invite Them. Just invite them in. Close your eyes and think of them. Think of the happiest moment you had with them. Think of the love that you had with them, and say, it's okay to step forward. They take their cues from you, though, Michael, too, though. They need to know, are you ready for me to show you a sign? Are you ready for some communication? They're not going to scare you. They take their cues from you. They won't do it until they know that you're ready. And if you're not ready, trust me, they're going to go somebody else. They're going to go to somebody else or another relative. Okay, so you get quiet and you just close your eyes and you just call on them, all right? And say, Mom, Dad, child, show me a sign. Step forward. You may feel a warm blanket over you, over your shoulders. You may feel a touch. You may feel a kiss. And that's how they do a lot of guide work, too, asking the guide to step into your space. You're asking the person on the other side, step into my aura. Step into my aura. And don't explain it away. We're so famous, and we're so fabulously famous for explaining it away. Say someone does this exercise, and all of a sudden they feel this warmth on their shoulders like a blanket. You're going to turn around and look for the heat vent, because you're going to think that it's, this can't be true. This can't be happening. Of course, there's other little signs, the ADCs, after death communication. So they're connected to you. Your loved ones are just a thought away. Keep talking to them. And it builds the link. The more you connect with them, I teach this to my students, when you link with spirit. Don't just talk to spirit when you want to do mediumship. Talk to spirit every day. What do you think about this? What do you think about going on here? The more you link, the stronger the link gets.
It's something we teach in automatic writing. As you build the handshake, It's a practice. In the beginning, you may get almost nothing, but over time it starts to develop, and you build a pipeline, like a fiber optic pipeline going on.
A tube. I teach my students that. You're just a tube. Just a tube. Yep.
So share with us, if you don't mind, a few ADCs, what to look for, what to be aware for, what to be aware of.
Right. ADC, after death communication, was coined by Judy and Bill Guggenheim in their book, Hello from Heaven. They had, I don't know if it's 30,000 people they contacted, or they published 3,000. It's a huge book. They did a lot of research, and they realized that more people around the world were having after-death communication, ADCs. After-death communication, what do I mean? These are signs and symbols not given by a medium, but to you personally. Dreams are the number one way that they come through, all right? I had a dream of my mom, and it took a year for her to come through. I didn't force it. I was teaching a class in Maine, and it was a mediumship class. I had a dream. There was my mother in my dream. So real, Michael. She looked young, beautiful, and vibrant. Yes, absolutely, yes. And she said to me, Johnny, and I went, Ma? And we just hugged. We just hugged in the dream. And that's when I started crying. I woke up with a tear in my eye, not from sadness, but it was really my mother. So that's the number one way. Why? Because your conscious mind is sleeping, and they can slip into your dreams. If you're having a dream, though, and you're crying, or there's some type of drama, and there's pain in the dream, that's not them. That's you dealing with the bereavement. They're always younger, happy, whole, a very colorful dream, and it's very, very fast. That's the number one way. Another one way, a lot of people find pennies, a lot of shiny pennies or dimes in the tub they just cleaned, the bed they just made, and they call that pennies from heaven. I don't understand the whole change thing. First of all, I don't know where they're getting the change from, but they're always shiny pennies, and people who are listening, they know what I mean, because someone may say, but everybody finds change. No, I'm talking shiny pennies that appear out of nowhere, and they're in the strangest of places. Another way, too, is synchronicity. You could be thinking of your mom. You're driving in the car. You're thinking of her and missing her. You turn on the radio. Right then and there's her favorite song. You're thinking of your dad. I'll use a car analogy. You're thinking of your dad. His name is Joe. Okay? And just when you're thinking of dad, you look to your left, and there goes Joe's plumbing. You see, people might say, well, how freaky, and I'm going to use my accent for this, how weird is that? No, it's synchronicity. So they'll put you at the right place. You could be standing in line, and you hear your mother's name being said over and over again, just when you're thinking of them. Nature is big also. Hummingbirds, butterflies, hawks. I hear this from many, many people, and I'm talking, not every rainbow you see is going to be your loved one. It touches you on a soul level. Cardinals are big, red cardinals. If you're thinking of your mom and a cardinal perches on your window, it's a hello from heaven. I call them calling cards from heaven. Another way, too, see, I list many, many of them. Another way is aromas. If your mom worked at a bakery and your house suddenly fills with the smell of cakes or muffins, what we usually do as humans, the left side of our analytical brain is, oh, a neighbor must be cooking bread, but all your windows are closed and it's winter. You see, so, and we explain it away all the time. And a lot of people say, well, what do they want, John? What's the message? I love you. I'm here. They're very, very subtle signs, and I list many, many more. But those are quite of the common ones. And one last one: electronic items are really, really big because their energy, we're energy. The things here, our technical equipment is energy. It's easy for them to manipulate the energy because their energy cannot die. It just simply transforms. Many people are getting phone calls from their loved one. When I have an audience of a few hundred or 1,000 people, I'll say, here, who here? And I'll look out who here has gotten a message from their loved one on their phone. What I'm talking about is the person who's passed away, their phone number is still in your phone. If suddenly their name comes up on the phone and you're like, oh my God. Now my mother's isn't here. If my mother called me, I don't know what I would do, Mike. I don't know if I would throw the phone through the window or freak out. But I asked the people too, what happened when you picked up the phone? Most people got static. But how is it that their name came up? Their phone is gone now. The service is disconnected. I mean, from the phone company, but yet their phone number is coming up with their name on it, and there's static on the phone. So electronic items are big. Lights going off, TVs going off, and if you think that's them, or you try to say this, well, who is it? Ask. If you got a bird or smell or electronic, say, Dad, is this you? Do it again. Do it again. Try to have them give you a specific sign, hopefully, but don't demand one. I want it on Tuesday at 3:10 while I'm, so watch for the signs and don't explain it away.
And I would guess,
thank you. Just say thank you.
Sort of like you develop the psychic database, write it down, write it down, write it down.
Absolutely. It's your calling card. And every once in a while, I used to see 419. People looked it up in the Bible, what the verse meant. 914, 419, any derivative of that number. I thought it meant play that lottery number, and it didn't mean that. Every time that I'm about to work on stage or with someone, I just happen to see that number. Now, I'm not superstitious, Michael, where I need to look for the 419 or the 914 and whatever, but I notice that if I'm doing a demonstration or if I'm going to a group, I'll look over and I'll notice someone's license plate is 914. And it's not like I'm looking for it. That to me means I know that my people, my team, my spiritual tribe, they're with me. Yeah, I know they're with me anyways, but it's like a hello, don't worry, we got this. Yeah.
Woohoo! I know when I look at repeated digits, I got up this morning and I had 3 repeating digits right across my watch as I looked at it. That means I'm in alignment, and to recognize there's a lot more going on around me than meets the eye.
Absolutely. And beautiful word too, though. You know when you're in an alignment and when you're not in an alignment. Yeah, when you're like, wait a minute, I've lost touch with my higher self, with my soul for a second. When you're in an alignment, things just flow better.
So let's go there. From alignment, let's talk about psychic abilities. And
sure.
Are we all born with psychic abilities?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're all born intuitive, except Michael, are you a dad?
Just a kitty dad. This is hopefully dad year. We believe we're calling her in, and strangely enough, the 10-second version is both Jessica and I this week separately on the bed, got poked in our butts, turned around, and nobody was there.
Yeah.
We think she's playing with us.
Yep. So you think she's coming in? Okay. Kids are born psychic. I mean, until the age of 6 or 5 or 6 years old, they're running, they're playing, they're coloring, they're drawing people with all different colors. And I think they're looking at the aura of someone. They don't even understand it. I believe that every kid, they got 1 foot here, 1 foot in the spirit world still. Okay, they're just got a lot of energy. They start school, but we're born with the right side, the creative side. But we start school, and then around a young age, we have to learn spelling, math, listening to teachers. So the left side of the brain comes in, the analytical side. The creative, intuitive side gets put to sleep or pushed aside. Life has a way of pushing intuition out of us. Okay, so we're all born that way, and life pushes it away. But some people still remember they're intuitive, and then that's what happens. We start going to school. So we're all born this way. I can't teach people to be psychic. You already are. I can help you remember that, and help you to turn it on and turn it off.
if somebody is more sensitive, I have to be real careful with my energy around my wife. If I'm internally even off center, she's going to be like, what's wrong with you? If somebody has that level of sensitivity, and you say the price of sensitivity is sensitivity, is that a good thing for establishing these connections?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're very clairsentient. You give off a vibe. You take in a vibe. You got to be careful. If you're clairsentient, I'll just go really quickly through that one. Yep. Clairsentient is people who they feel. They don't understand it. They feel. They can walk into a room and they say, "I don't like the feel of that furniture there. I don't like the feel of the picture." Listen to the words that they're saying. I don't like even though you meet someone, they seem perfect, they look great, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't like what I'm picking up from that person. I don't like that feel from that person. So that's an indicator you're clairsentient. Clairvoyance, people walk into a room and they say, I don't like the look of where this is positioned. I don't like the look of that picture. People who are clairvoyant, they see like little white lights sometimes. A lot of people think they're floaters. You can see things out of the corner of your eye. You see symbols. You think a lot in your head. A lot of people who dream are very clairvoyant. Clairaudient is that still small voice in your head that you hear. Like you could be driving and all of a sudden you hear, slow down. Like, well, who's saying that? Is it your mind, your spirit guide, or whatever? But I think you should listen to it. If you're clairaudient, you also know when people are lying. They're not telling the truth. They're telling you something from your mouth, but your voice, you're hearing something different. People who are clairaudient, a lot of people get this too, though, Michael. Have you ever heard a song playing in your head out of the blue?
Oh, heck
You didn't listen to it. It just comes to you. Everyone who is watching this video will understand this. Instead of saying this, I can't get this stupid song out of my head, not the one you just heard. I keep hearing a song by Elvis, whatever, okay? Always ask yourself, what's the title of the song? What are the words of the song? Someone is trying to get your attention by using that, because those on the other side, your guides, your people on the other side, your loved ones, they're going to use whatever in your brain, whatever you studied, whatever you've heard. So that's a lovely way too. But the price of sensitivity is sensitivity, meaning also it will help you. I always recommend too, if you want to develop your psychic abilities, mediumistic abilities, make sure you're in a good place. If you're going through someone who's passed away or you're depressed or something, put it aside for now. Put aside, because the price of sensitivity is sensitivity. A lot of people who want to be mediums and psychic will say to me, "Oh my God, this is so sensitive," or "I'm too sensitive." That's part of the job. You want to be a sensitive, it's going to happen. So I recommend, if you're doing any training, be in a good space. Okay, we're in all kinds of spaces, in our lives here too. But if you're not well, if you're not feeling well, if you're going through some type of sadness or depression, put it aside. Trust me, your psychic ability is not going anywhere. It can wait. Focus on the physical. And I teach this too. You're a physical being and a spiritual being. Honor both. If you're too spiritual, you're going to forget about the physical and not take care of yourself. If you're too physical, you're going to forget about the spiritual. So we're 50-50. Be spiritual and honor your physical aspect of your life here too, though. Yeah.
I'm so glad. I always harp on this one of honor the physical, because it's too easy to say, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, therefore I can run the wheels off of the vehicle. I don't have to worry about it. And we've all seen wounded healers, people who are not honoring themselves.
Right. And it happens to me. Okay. Or I'm more aware of it as I get older. I can't do reading. I'm getting a little older now. Okay. I didn't say old, older. Okay.
I'm with you.
When I'm doing too much of this work, I'm tired. I have to rest the vessel. You have to rest the vessel, or because it's like playing a radio or a stereo over and over again, or a phone. Eventually, the battery goes. You've got to revitalize your battery, and I'm not just talking about your physical vessel. I'm talking about your spiritual side too. Yeah, so you have to rest the body and take care of your vessel. You are the equipment, Michael, and I say this in many of my books. You are the equipment.
It sounds like for the equipment as well, an important word. You used the word space a minute ago. We have to use the word pause. If we don't have a pause between the notes, if we're going 100 miles an hour, now is not the time to all of a sudden try to drop anchor and tune in, because it ain't happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if you saw this, but recently I was on the show The Doctors.
Okay,
and,
awesome.
The Doctors TV show. And I flew there, and I had 4 days there, but I had to make sure before the person stepped in front of me that I was rested, that because you get the TV cameras, a lot of pressure when you're doing this. Luckily, they didn't let me down. This woman's son. It's pretty cool. Maybe you'll post it with this. I don't know.
You got it. Get me the link. I'll post it with it.
Yep. I had to really quiet my mind and to be there and let go of this because getting on the plane, flying the 6.5 hours there, and then one night to rest, and I got to make sure that I'm on because people are looking to me for help, Michael. It's a huge responsibility, and we're talking about someone's loved one that's passed away. So yes.
Thank you. So how do we begin to develop this in ourselves?
Okay. Always, a lot of people, they want to go right to the mediumship. You have to know how your psychic faculties work. How it works is like this, okay? When I'm sitting with someone, whether it's psychic or mediumistically, I'm sitting with someone. My aura opens, their aura opens. Say I'm working psychically with someone. My aura is open, their aura is open. Their aura is blending with mine, and then the information will come through the aura and will open up the appropriate energy center. If I'm clairvoyant or clairaudient or clairsentient, that one's going to that one's going to be activated, and then the information comes in. Your energy centers are the receiver and transmission of this energy. Okay, so the best thing to do is know your psychic faculties first. Okay, study meditation, aura, energy, chakras, auras, meditation, breath. That's all you need. I love crystals, I love incense, but you don't need to stick a quartz in your third eye to open it here. Know how it works first, how to activate your... Yeah, but you're not sticking it in your third eye, Michael, right?
No.
But I'm holding on to it. Yeah, absolutely. I've got crystals too, and here too. But it's I believe in them. I even wear one when I'm on stage. But you are the vessel. Learn chakras, auras, meditation, and breath, and that's the best way. And I teach that that's in Bridging Two Realms also. Yep. Start with that.
What do we need to know about the aura? And I remember after my first NDE, I started looking around and seeing like this tinge of like glowing golden light. And I had to like get book after book going, is there something wrong with me? Is my vision, did I get whacked in the head? What's going on here?
Right. Your clairvoyant eye opened up. That's all. And a lot of people can see the aura. They don't even realize it. You're seeing a speaker on stage. You start to see the white around them.
Yeah.
The etheric body. And you start doing this and someone says, oh, it's just the light. Is it? You know what I mean? And there are colors around people too. No, first of all, know that you have an aura. You don't have to see it. Know that you can expand it to open yourself more. You can pull it in tighter to make yourself less sensitive. A lot of people, they're like, I get really emotional around people that are depressed, or I take on people. Then close your aura. Do not be a receptor of it. You can, and it's no special technique. You don't have to be a mime and do this to close your aura. The thought is you just pulling it in tight around you. First, know that you have one. It's almost like your invisible shield. And people are like, well, how do you know this? How many times, Michael, have you looked across the room and someone's looking at you? Yeah, it's happened to many people. You look up, you're like, oh, what are they looking at? Could be a crowded room. Because their energy touched yours. You're in line at a bank or Starbucks or a store, and you feel someone too close behind you. You look around you. You don't feel their breath on your neck. You just know on an energetic level. Study anything you can on the aura and what it is, and because it's a tool for you. It's free. It's part of your body. It's part of your soul, and it can attract things too, though. And you've had many people, I'm sure, on the law of attraction. What you put out in your aura gets magnified 1,000 times and comes back to you. So it's an energy field that's around you. It's beautiful. Kirlian photography has shown proof that it is really there. Study everything you can on the aura, and it's going to help you many ways.
Do you have one key way? I used to go into what was called King Supers in Colorado and take off my glasses. My vision would get blurry, but I could see the aura more clearly because my thinking mind got out of the picture. Is there any good practice method you would give people to dive into it?
I would say it's probably there's a meditation that I do too. It's called Raising the Power. It's called Raising the Power, where you open your energy centers one by one. A lot of people who want to develop, they want to just open their third eye energy center. And I'm like, no, you'll be clairvoyant, but you'll be walking into walls, forgetting your keys. You have to be balanced. We have 7 energy centers, okay? And I talk about this in Bridging Two Realms. Start with the base chakra, up to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat chakra, to the third eye chakra, to the crown. Open them up. Okay, and remember, they're not really opening and closing. Okay, but you're taking your thought on them or away from them. Okay, and then you open them up, and then you expand your aura, and then you're very, very receptive. And then you just go backwards. You close it, and then close down from the third eye down. Yeah, open up your energy centers. Your aura will automatically expand also. And I teach my students a lot too. If you're still reading, when I teach classes, and I know this for a fact, if I'm doing a demonstration, I got plenty coming up here. If I am still, and I'm a teacher, but I make this mistake too. If I'm driving home, okay, and I'm still with my work, if I'm still in that space, I didn't close down properly. So I have to like do it right then and there because I'm driving. Yeah.
Are you open during an interview or closed during an interview?
It depends. It's sometimes it depends. If I know I have to be open, it's really strange. Right now I'm John, the author, John the medium. I'm not demonstrating or you see what I mean? Because if I go to a mediumship level, then I'll start going off. You know what I mean? I'm too on the other side. I want to be here with you, looking into your eyes through the screen. Do you know what I mean? So I want to be here for you. Yeah, because if I keep saying to you, "What was the question? What was the question?" Then you know I've gone off. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So let's talk real briefly. Actually, I want to throw it to you for the last 5 minutes. If we're introducing people to their own mediumship, what's another piece that they absolutely need to know? And then before we wrap up and do a brief meditation, we got to talk ethics.
Yes. Okay. Like I said, first understand the psychic faculties. Okay. Every medium is psychic. Not every psychic is a medium. You may have the potential for me. We're all born. Many years ago, when I wrote Born Knowing, I was taught this in England. Mediums are born, not made. But then people were challenging me on that. And I'm like, wait a minute, after doing the work, let's see, that came out in 2003. It's now 15 years ago. But now I believe that we all have the potential for it because I teach classes for this. Someone may be born with a higher potential than somebody else in developing this here. Someone's developed with a higher potential, they'll get it easier. They'll get the exercise. The spirit will be able to communicate a little easier. If you have a potential that's not as strong, it just means you have to do a lot more work. And if you're serious about this, then you'll get there too. So notice, just work on your psychic faculties work. And if the mediumship level is there, it will show itself. But if there's you don't want to become a medium, all right, you don't have to be a medium to connect to the other side. Everyone can learn to play the piano, Michael. Not everyone's going to learn. Everyone can learn to play it, but not everyone's going to be a pianist. This book is not just for mediums and training. It's for you also to show you how to connect people on the other side. And it is when you meditate, when you do that special meditation, and I list like 4 or 5 other ways in there, you are expanding your consciousness, making it easier for them on the other side also. And when it comes to meditation too, for everyone who's listening, there's all kinds of meditations. You could sit there and count your breath. You can look at a mandala. You can chant the same word, whatever. Okay, so don't let meditation throw you off. There's many techniques. Find the meditation that works for you.
Thank you. Real briefly, if we look at opening up each of these 3, clear audience, what's one way to start opening that up?
Clear audience, you focus on your third, open yourself up completely, like I said, and put your awareness on your throat energy center, which is sky blue. And when I say put your awareness, it just means just think on that, because some people start looking down at their body. You know, it's like put your awareness there too, and go outside in nature, and there's no clear audience is the hardest to develop because you don't know, is this them? Is this intuitive information or is this me? That's why you have to ask yourself, remember these words, is this coming to me or from me? And you're like, if you're getting something, am I? Absolutely. And imagination will come in and go away, but intuition will keep knocking on the door. Go out in nature, listen to the birds, to the trees, to the people off in the distance, to people who are closer. There's a difference from hearing and listening. Okay, you can hear a song, but when you really listen to the song, you're hearing the guitar, the strings, the piano. So basically, best way to develop clear audience, go outside, listen all at once to the sounds far away. You are stretching your physical hearing to reach as far as you can. That's a good way.
Woohoo! Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance. Get a voltage candle at the dollar store. It's $1. Okay, light it. Look at it, okay? Look at it, keep looking at it, wait till your eyes start to water, and put your hands over your eyes. You're going to see the flame right here. That's teaching you where the third eye is. And same thing, you put your awareness on your third eye. It's almost like breathing in and out of your third eye. You could keep breathing the color indigo in and out. There's many techniques between the flame. You just have to put your awareness there. A lot of visualization meditations too will help you also to open that up. And so clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentient, okay, to feel. The next time you meet somebody, you could practice at home, all right? How many emails do I feel I'm going to get today? You get emails all the time. And if you feel it's going to be 87, you may see 87, you may hear 87. But if you're a feeler, what do you feel like? What do you feel like your boss is going to wear the next day as a colored shirt? What do you, when you meet someone too, how do you feel about something? You got to use the word feel. How do I feel? If someone has a decision in front of them, if there's two roads, they don't know which way to go, put the two roads in front of you, okay? Imagine there's two roads in front of you, all right? Should we move here? Or should we move here? Say you're moving to a different state, okay? Imagine you're walking down, I'll say California is above you. Walk down the road of California. What does it look like? Are there trees? Is there life? Is there color? You want to move to another state, put that there. What does that path look like also, all right? What does that feel like? Does that feel okay? And go with that. And just because you get a negative or, wait a minute, this feels negative. Don't just say, oh, it's negative. The answer is no. Why am I feeling negative? Just really quickly, someone who's out there, they're a boss. They meet someone. The resume looks beautiful. The person in front of them seems great. They're saying all the right things. But something in the interviewer or the person who owns the company, they're like, something doesn't feel right. Ask yourself, what's going on? Why don't I feel this person is good at the right time, is the person at this time? Doesn't mean it's a bad person or a bad interview. That person could be going through a divorce. That person could be going through some issues, and now is not the time to ask them. So just by simply putting your awareness on your solar plexus, how do I feel about this?
We're sending Jessica out to Aspen next week looking for our new home, and her whole mission is to have fun and feel it out. No expectation, no attachments, just see what feels right. Real briefly, ethics.
Ethics too. If you're doing this work, and I wasn't sure if I was going to put this in there, but people's lives are in your hands when you do this work. So I talk about ethics, about getting the training, making sure the person, you're not given the information, that the person who you're reading for is not given the information. The ethics of, taking care of yourself. The ethics of not playing guru, like you're God, like you're the only one who does this. Okay, you got to empower your client or empower the person and help them. Absolutely, because I don't let your person, your client or the person you're helping become dependent on you, because that happens. You're taking away their power. So there's a whole. Basically, I did that for people who want to study mediumship, and it's just my belief of the ethics that you have here too, though. So I'm very excited about it. It's the thickest one I did, and like I said, when Hay House says, "Do you think?" Yeah, I know, right? I didn't think I had it in me. Well, obviously, it's in there. Yeah, so I'm so proud of it, and I just hope it helps a lot of people.
So where can people go to find out more and to find your beautiful book? And I love it, I love it, I love it, and I think we all have this, and I think it's, if you read this and you go through life learning and using some of this, it's a much better, richer, and smarter, for lack of another way to go, than using this noggin up here.
Right. They can go to johnholland.com. It should be posted there. I don't know when you're going to air this, but it's there right now. Or you can go to Amazon also, who has it. And, of course, Barnes & Noble, they all have it. So it's doing really well, and I think it's timely. I really think it's timely. There's a lot of books out there, Michael. I wanted people, a lot of my work is in here, a lot of it. I wanted people to go have the one-stop shopping with Bridging Two Realms.
I think you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
That's johnholland.com. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Do you have time for a 30-second grounding meditation?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Sure. All right. All I ask everyone is just close your eyes, okay? If you're not driving, okay? All right. Or doing any that are using machinery, just close your eyes. And I always say, just take a breath. Just take a deep breath in and put that breath in your stomach. That's a complete breath into the stomach, up to the lower lungs and then the full lungs, and do that, and you just get quiet. And then just breathe. Just breathe. And then put your awareness on your heart level, on your heart. And you can put your hands over your heart. And this is a good way to start the day before your foot even touches the floor, before you even reach for that cell phone to check all your messages and texts. Reach for your inner technology before you reach for your outer technology. Yeah? And just breathe. And I am a soul. I am a soul. I am a soul. It brings you back, especially if you're just waking up, because you've been off in the dream state, the spirit world for a while. This grounds you, and set your intention, whether you do it in the morning or right now. For the rest of the day, set a word. Is it prosperity? Is it gratitude? Is it love? Yeah? Because your first thought of the day sometimes will affect the rest of your day, or the rest of the day that's coming. And when you do this, I am a soul, it puts you back to that soul level. It makes you very, very heart-centered. Yeah? And have compassion. If someone is getting to you on the outside world, you're having a disagreement, open up to them. And trust me, compassion. Try to have compassion and do something for someone out of the blue when they least expect it, because that vibe will reach farther than you could ever imagine. And that's just a good, quick, let me get in touch with my soul, Michael. Let me get in touch with my spirit. There you go. Yeah. And in the book, there's more deeper ones when people want to go deeper.
Thank you so much, John. Anything else you want to share? I know we're good on time here.
I would just say, too, a lot of people say, well, what's your parting words? Remember, your loved ones on the other side want to talk to you as much as you want to talk to them. Trust me. Okay? Watch for the signs. Look for the signs. And, they're okay. A lot of people say to me, Michael, are my loved ones okay? They're fine. Trust me, they're fine. That's the real world, okay? But we have our work to do here until we meet them. And there's a lot of work. A lot of people say it's hard being here. I understand that. A spirit being in this physical, dense body is hard. It's but you're here for a reason, and you don't even know the lives that you have going to affect yet also. But Michael, I got to be honest too. I love your show. I love your interview. You're very thorough. You ask questions that some interviewers don't ask, and I can tell, woohoo, that you get into it too. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, John. This is brilliant. Love your work. Love your work. Everybody, go on over to johnholland.com. Everyone, get Bridging Two Realms. For everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get Bridging Two Realms, and begin talking with the other side today, and shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you so much, John.
You're welcome. You're so welcome, Michael.
Have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for taking the extra time with us today.
Oh, please. Thank you. Anytime. Call me anytime. And good luck with the house hunting.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like below. Also, leave your comments. Have some real fun with it. Subscribe to our channel where you're going to get more great videos, more interviews coming up. And check out our website, inspirenationshow.com. That's where you'll find tips, blogs, information, videos you won't find anywhere else, and useful and helpful resources to really help you kickstart your life and to shine bright. Thanks so much again. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe. See the website. Thanks so much and have fun. Of course, shine bright. Woohoo!